Shema, Yashala, Yahawah, Alahayanawa, Yahawah, Accord, Shema, Yashala, Yahawah, Alahayanawa, Yahawah, Accord, Shema, Yashala, Yahawah, Alahayanawa, Yahawah, Accord. Peace and blessings to Hopeful Elect. Shalom to everybody that's in there. Before I get started, I want to give all honors, praises, and excellent glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, YAHAWASHI, Bahashem, Dotak Kudash, double honor to the apostles and others of GMS, who we well teach for, man. You know, uh, this is another walk and talk, you know, uh, for you brothers and sisters that tuned in yesterday. If you have, or if you haven't, you know, uh, I'm going to be doing a whole lot more of these, you know, just to show the Lord that I want to continue pushing this work out. Even if it's something, man, you got to do something towards the ministry, especially if you're calling yourself a prophet, man. You know, you got to realize all of our YouTube channels are trees. You have to look at it as fruit trees. And what's the fruit? This knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. The scriptures, you know, those videos are your fruit. So you want to keep doing lessons. The more lessons you do, the healthier the tree looks. You know, up to date. You know, uh, you want to keep fresh fruit on your tree, man. You know, and it's a little drizzling right now, but so be it, man. You know, I actually slowed down. So thought I'll be how about sitting outside, man. You know, I got a nice little ways to go before I get to the house area in Salakia. If my background is a little loud, I am next to a busy road. I am about to turn down more on a more quiet road. So, you know, uh, but thought I'll be how about sitting outside for, allowing me to still do this work, for putting the spirit on me to come out and do another lesson. Uh, I was watching some brothers today, as I always do every day while I'm at work. I like to watch, lessons, stay, study, stay up to date on everything. You know, I was watching the brother, the Balawan reverse faith. Shout out to that brother out there in Jersey, my home state, but I reside in Michigan right now, all through Fair Power, yeah, about to outside. But I was watching his lesson, and he basically was bringing out that I forgot the lady name, but it's a shortage that's coming, man. And she was saying about 2 weeks, you know, shortage on plastic, you know. Now I know a lot of people will probably be like, "Oh, well, there's a shortage on plastic. That's no big deal, right?" That's wrong. A shortage on plastic is definitely heavy. It's definitely will put a dent into our ecosystem, not ecosystem, Salakia. It'll put a dent into society. Why? Because everybody needs plastic, man. You know, when you go buy your favorite bottle of water, juice, lotion, your meat products wrapped in plastic. Certain car parts need plastic. And plastic is made from oil. So with the fight over the oil, people can't get their hands on oil, it's gonna raise the prices of plastic. And that's why your gas is going up too, because of the oil. Oil is a big thing. That's why it's always a war for oil, man. You know? And it's plenty of oil to go around, but remember, we're in Esau Edom's kingdom. He don't want nobody else to have what he has, man. He wants to constantly destroy the earth. He'd rather for everybody to suffer than to watch everybody on the same page, man. You know? Just think about this. He has 100% of the fatness of the earth. Well, not 100%, but the Lord blessed him with the fatness of the earth, and 100% of his own nation don't even prosper from the blessing, man. So going into that oil, now that gas and prices are going to go up, these other companies that use oil, to create their plastics, now your bottles of lotion, anything that wrapped in plastic, that stuff is going to go up too, because these manufacturing companies is going to need to purchase plastic to wrap their products in, man. You know, so that's heavy. Your meat products, like I said, your meats, your bottles of lotion. That's why the lady was saying, oh, she bought about 3 months worth of stuff, basic things that she knows the house is gonna need, not because she thinks it's gonna run out, but because she don't feel comfortable uh paying a crazy amount of money for products, which shows you that she lacks faith. It's probably eating my woman. I was really listening to it like an audio. I wasn't watching the video. I wasn't visually watching because I was working. But she sounded like she could definitely be an Edomite. See, Edomites, they don't have faith, man. That's why they have to stock up on. Uh, that's why they have to stock up on canned goods and doomsday prep. That's why they have to do these things because they don't have faith, man. Salaki is starting to come down a little bit. No, not supposed to teach while hood on, but Salakia, it's starting to really come down now. As you can see on my screen, it's a little blurry, you know. I'm just gonna cover it with my hand. But right. That's why we remember the Lord said we have faith as a mustard seed, we shall move mountains. So in this day and age, we need to start stocking up on our faith because it's gonna be bad out here, man. It's gonna be really bad, you know. Actually, let me put y'all in my pocket, you know. As long as you can hear my voice, Lord willing, this lesson still be edifying. You could call this an audio book, whatever you need to call it, you know. And there's a lot that I was soaking up today, knowledge-wise, from these camps, from brothers, from the elders and apostles, man. You know, so it's heavy that all this stuff is happening now, and it's happening fast, man. In a minute, when it's really we ain't gonna have anything, man. But we shouldn't worry about stocking up on food and things like that. We need to be worried about stocking up on our faith, making sure we're good with YAHAWASHI outside, making sure every work you do, everything you do that's in the ministry is like spiritual dollars, man. You want to be able to have that spiritual check, not the physical check that Esau Edom have on this side with the fake money, man. You want to have that spiritual check of the kingdom of heaven, man. Everybody, like I love saying in almost every video, whether you believe or not, everybody has a spiritual bank account. Everybody has a spiritual bank account. You know, more so you Israelites. You know, you Black, Latino, Native Americans, and speckled birds. You other nations really don't, because salvation is really only for the Israelites. But you Israelites have a spiritual bank account, man. Even you 2/3 right now, whether you believe it or not. You know, so when Jacob's trouble start, you want to cash that check in. And you're gonna have a balance. The way you 2/3 looking, your balance is in the negatives. You owe money. You owe the Lord's time, man. You owe him something towards the truth, man. Whether it's videos, studying, seeking the Lord, you owe him that. And the Lord he's the ultimate debt collector. If you don't pay up, you're gonna pay by sacrifice. You're gonna pay by burning in that lake of fire, man. When the missiles hit, you know. See, we working. We're part of the hopeful elect. You know, hopefully we are those men. But when we cash out, we want to cash out, you know, and make sure we're good in Jacob's trouble and ultimately be saved, man. Because that same check is also a ticket for a seat on a chariot, man. You know, it actually stopped raining a little bit, slow down. Outside. But yeah, you want to be able to cash out, and not just for you, but for your family too, you know, and brothers and you sisters. Make sure you keep everybody. When I say everybody, I'm talking about the other like-minded brothers and sisters that's in this truth, that's teaching the truth correctly, that true doctrine. You know, make sure, and the elders and apostles, make sure you put them in your prayers, man. Don't just ask for that hedge of protection for yourself and your family, but for brothers and sisters. That's why when I pray, I always ask the Lord to set that door, you know, that hedge of protection, not just for myself, but for the elders and apostles, the Akim, the Akrir, and our families and loved ones. I always say our families and loved ones. I never say just my families and loved ones. I always say our, you know, because prayer goes a long way, especially if you're an Israelite, you know, especially if you a prophet and part of the elect, you know. We don't know if we part of the elect, but we're hopeful elect. That's why we got to keep working, you know. So, right, and you know, brothers been working more lately in the spirit. I can't even explain how the spirit really been taking over on me these past couple of days. I've really been locked in, you know, especially watching videos, wanting to do more, you know. I just can't wait to get in this apartment. Hopefully, give me a nice little tablet, laptop, or whatever, so I can really start doing my sit downs, you know, in peace and quiet. And, Lord willing, you know, the Lord bless me with a campsite, because I will be getting me a tripod soon. Lord willing, the Lord bless me with a campsite too, man. You know, So I just turned on the block of where I rest at, you know. And the Lord definitely speeding up these times too. I ask the Lord to shorten the days and the times all the time, man. You know, it literally felt like the beginning of the month was just the other day when I looked up and I saw that I moved in on the first. When I first looked up, it was only like April 2nd, I believe. I was like, oh boy. Now look, well, almost what? We 2 weeks away now. You know, call all y'all about some outside, man. I can't wait to move. And you also want to build in this truth. You also want to have peace of mind, man, because this place this place gotta go, man. There's nothing here for us. This place sucks. We gotta pay our way through society. You know, I even heard a coworker. You know, I overheard him on the phone, but he's an older guy. He's an Edomite too, you know, and he was saying how he got heart problems. He be having heart problems where sometimes I don't know what it's called or how it's sound, but he uh he like his heart beats irregular or something like that. Sometimes it's hard for him to breathe, but the pumps I make, he was on the phone with somebody. He was like, "Yeah, I'm probably." He said, "I'm more than likely gonna work until I drop dead," and that's something I had me thinking like, "Hey, man, that's how a lot of Israel is right now, man. We working till we're dead. Why? Because Esau Edom wanna take everything. It's enough. It's enough for a little something for everybody to go around." Esau Edom says, "No, he wants everything for himself, man. You know." And I can't wait for the kingdom, man. I can't wait for that glory. I can't wait for that true power, man. You know. But if we want that, we gotta do this work first. And it's still a lot of work for everybody. Even if you just come there, you know, Pastor Elders used to say, hey, if you come for everybody that's just now, you know, for you new prophets, new members of the hopeful elect, if you just now coming in, hey, give yourself 6 months and go outside, man. You know, they said that years ago. Luckily for me, the first year I came into this truth, I studied literally for a whole year, watching almost. I used to work for Amazon, and for a little bit of time before I really was deep into the truth, I was just listening to music. But once I got into the truth, remember Amazon, you working like almost 10-hour shifts. I used to listen to lessons from start to finish, you know, 8 to 10 hours of lessons, man, you know, and that's happy because we in those times where you want to try and do as much as you can. And that's why I did a walk and talk yesterday and I'm doing one today, man. You know, Lord willing, soon I actually set up a sit down. I'm gonna continue pumping out works, man. You know, even with pre-recorded lessons. So Definitely tune in, and stay prayed up. But once again, I want to give all honor, praise, and infinite glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Kakwadash. Peace and blessings to you, hopeful elect. Shalom once again to your Akim and algorithm that tuned in. And double on to Apostle and others at GMS who rule and teach well. Like our Apostle to our life say, on to the next lesson. You only as good as your last lesson, so keep leveling up, stay in the spirit. Remember, Bible ball soon. We almost out of here, Kings. And you like-minded sisters, man. Till next time, peace and blessings to you, hopeful elect, and shalom.